Welcome back. You're now tuned in to Sold in 60, the one and only timeshare podcast in the world. And it's your boy, it's your host, Richie Rich, with my co-D.
Dollars, holla at your boy.
You know what I'm saying? Down payment dealings in the building. And listen, y'all, we do this for the culture. We do this for the salespeople. We do this for the people that love to sling vacation ownership. We do it for those starting out, those that's been in the game, those that's continuing the game, those that's going to die in the game. You know what I'm saying? So welcome back to another episode. We're traveling. We know you've been looking for them episodes, so we came to make sure we fulfill you. And this episode is really about giving thanks. This episode is really about, you know, our viewers, our supporters, our listeners, because we've really been tapped into, you know, all the messages and all the comments that we've been getting. So we just want to thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel, supporting the podcast. Thank you for the DMs, the messages. Thank you for...
And it's real love, too. Organic, real love, you know? So thank you for that, for
sure. You know, thanks for the comment. Thank you for when you like a video and when you comment, because that's how we know who's tapped in, if we hitting the right subjects, if we getting the right guests, if, you know, the topics that we are touching on resonates with the people. So we thank you. That little effort, man. It's just like, you know, you ever get when your birthday comes and you get mad, shout out some people you ain't talked to in a minute, but you're like, damn, the streets love me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, is that feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know. Like, it's easy to scroll, double tap or whatever, but when you take the little time to say, yo, this was fire, or yo, I learned something from this, or I like that dude, or I know that dude, or, you know, even get a DM. I got somebody who was like, yo, you should holler at this cat. He'll be good to have on the show. Like, we appreciate all that. You know what I'm saying? You got to speak. Like, when a company gives, you go to a restaurant or anybody that asks for a survey, I can see why it's important. Most of the time we get a service, we do our thing, and we don't realize how important it is to get a little bit of feedback, because that tell you if you're doing something wrong, doing something right. So do me a favor. If you're watching this podcast, if you're new to it, if you've been supporting us, do me a favor, do us a favor, and take that time out to just tap in. A fire emoji, a thumbs down emoji,
sure,
a question mark emoji. You know what I'm saying? Just talk to us. You know what I'm saying? Or a DM, because we really appreciate it. We really remember this. This is the organic situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not the type of industry that's marketed. I don't know none of y'all that be out there posting your success and be like hashtag timeshare, hashtag full down, hashtag sold 1 million
they
points.
Don't promote it like
you know
that.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So understand that we created something for our culture, and the only way to get to each other is for each other to share it. Kind of on some FUBU type, you know, for us, by us type thing. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for everybody that's been, you know, like I said, sharing, liking, commenting, DMing, you know what I mean?
And we're not corporate at all. So if you can actually, you know, touch us, you can reach out to us, you can send the DMs. You know, we try to get to all the messages. We try to get to all the comments. There might be a little delay, but we'll definitely get out to you. So just reach out to us. Let us know what y'all want to see, what y'all want to talk about, what y'all want to cover, and we'll definitely get that covered on the show.
Right. There's some people that be like, yo, I can't believe I'm actually talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll call you direct. What's up? What's good? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we approachable, you know what I'm saying? And again, like, there's no big corporation behind it. This is just for the passion of us, just loving the game and loving the opportunities that are ahead for the people. You know what I'm saying? We decided that there's nowhere out there that if you're new, or even if you're current, there's nowhere out there where you can get a little insight. You know what I'm saying? Art is not doing it. Your company is not doing it. You know what I'm saying? There's very few people that's putting you onto game or even sharing their pitch. Like, your coworkers not even sharing.
They not telling you. Yeah, they not sharing.
You know what I'm saying?
And we giving you the real. You know, we giving you the real. We not just sugarcoating it to get you through your day. You know, we're telling you what's going on behind the scenes, what you need to be looking out for, and then also what you not need to be paying attention to also. So for sure.
So yeah, man. Something else I was gonna say, shout out to Jessica. Jessica is another one of our big supporters. She just dropped a book. She dropped a book about living in Jamaica or visiting Jamaica. I copped a copy, so we're gonna put a link so y'all can support her too. So
shout
check
out
that
Jessica.
out. You know what I'm saying? So today's show, I want to address a few comments that were made under some videos, and I want to address some DMs and some questions that we got that was sent our way. So as you can remember, the last episode was I interviewed a lady named Michelle Hernandez, who was a VP of the training department for a resort, and we had her on the show. And so I was going through the comments. So this one was from, I don't know who this user is. I don't, like, you know how it is, like, it's not like it's a plain name. So it's like at Bill Kessel. Okay, that's what it is. All right, Bill. Shout out to Bill. Bill, I appreciate you for leaving feedback. So I'm gonna tell you what Bill said. He said, guys, love the episodes. I love the current guests. The last guest was my favorite episode. That was 43. I'm not sure who that was. I think that was my dude from the Dayline. So then he said, that was the most knowledge I've gotten out of any episode. Actually, with a bunch of combined. It was more knowledge. It was amazing. This guest, talking about this show, I think it was 44. All she talked about was her. And again, congrats and kudos to what she's done. But there was no training in this episode. Please bring us back more training. Really appreciate it. And if you could bring us back some training about how to sell owners. We get how to sell new people. How do you upgrade owners that they currently don't need? In more weeks, they already have all they want. They're unhappy with the property. They're unhappy with being told things are going to change, and they don't things like this. I guess they don't like things like this. Give us some incentives and ideas for that, please, and keep going. Great episodes, and we appreciate what you're doing. Shout out to Bill. Thank you for Bill taking the time out to just tap in and
Bill left that comment.
Yeah.
Well, are we going to touch that? Can we touch that?
Let's touch that. First of all, episode 43 was one of my faves too. They, you know what I'm saying? They brought a lot of energy. Well, what's your thoughts though, D?
So the beginning of the comment said, can you cover a little bit more on how to sell owners that already own?
No, the beginning of the comment said this guest, all she did was talk about herself.
Oh, okay.
So let me touch on that.
For sure. So one thing I can tell you guys in the sales industry in general, you're going to meet a lot of different type of people with a lot of different type of personalities. Some people, the personality, expressives, drivers, admirables, analyticals, the whole nine. And, obviously as salespeople, once you know those things, you can identify those people when you see them. You know what I'm saying? So I think, it is what it is. We know what type of person it is when they present themselves to us, when they talk, we know what we're dealing with. If that was an episode or maybe that was something that probably didn't, tickle your fancy, then I would say, it's okay. We have multiple guests on here, and some guests that you're going to absolutely love the episode. And then some guests you're probably not going to like them because of, I don't know, they're arrogant, they're cocky. Maybe they're talking about their money. Maybe, who knows? There's all different type of people. But yeah, that's what I would say on it.
I think the thing with salespeople in general is it's not that they're cocky, but they're confident.
They're confident. That's what I want to say. She's very, very confident, in what she's saying, as you should be, you should be. So,
but I also think that guest, what his little difference is the level that she was on. That guest was a leader in the industry for over 30 years. So when you disconnect from the battlefield, and you've been in management and you've been hiring people to train other people and then hiring, different people to help run resorts and overseeing, it changes.
Successfully too.
Yeah, successfully. So I think her level, I would have to go back and watch the episode, but I think, she talked about herself a lot because of how she's come, you know what I mean? So, and I appreciate that. We've gotten people who, made $1 million, this, that, and the third. Everybody's different. Some people are humble, some people are cocky, but in that, for me, that was a big deal to have someone of that level with that tenure on the show. And I can
even give us her time,
I can understand why she definitely.
But at the same time, I can understand where the bill is coming from, because if you have 20, 30 years in the game, your experience, your Miss Big Shot, this and all that, give back to the people, give back to the new people, share some jewels with us, drop some jewels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can feel where Bill's coming from too.
I mean, I also think that some people in certain positions are not as blunt in certain areas that maybe we have been. 'Cause I think we asked some questions that maybe
She didn't want to answer.
She didn't want to answer. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that being in a leadership position, you have to answer things in a certain way. Right? If someone blatantly asks you, do they play with the wheel? They're not going to be like, hell yeah, they play with the wheel. Or if people say, you know what I'm saying, do you pitch here? Yeah, I pitch heat, you know? I think, depending on who you are, depending on the position you are, you get a different response from a person who's,
sure.
you know what I'm saying, selling.
It's yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm with you on that one.
But yeah. So that's what she said. So that's that. We passed that. But yeah, there was no training in that episode. And, maybe that's on us. We didn't answer any questions that could have helped you. You know what I'm saying? So Bill said to bring us back to more training if you could help us. He wants to sell owners. I'm so glad you said that, my brother Bill, because I started in-house. And one thing I hate about this industry that I've been noticing over the last couple of weeks is that people that start in the front line or the day line, they have this tendency of keep saying in-house is a different animal. Oh, but it's in-house. It's so. I think people position themselves to make it seem so difficult when it's really not. If you don't have a choice but to do something, you're going to do it, right? So anyway, I don't know if you're an in-house or frontline, but if my approach to selling owners, depending on where you are, because I don't know what the setups are, but it's always about finding a gap in what they own, finding some type of angle. If a person feels that they have enough, I need to make them identify they don't have enough. I need to tap into an emotion about retirement or legacy, leaving to their children. I need to find an angle. I grew up in a weeks environment. So I need to, maybe you got a floating week and in reality, if you want the best exchanges, you should have an event week. Or maybe you have a fixed week and you damn sure don't want to leave that to your children because if they can't use it, are they even going to maintain a property that you spent all this time paying for? So I have to find an angle. If some people are renting outside of their ownership, I'm gonna do a rent versus own on that. I feel like there's different angles. There's always an angle. If you have a lock-off unit that doesn't have the sleeping capacity that you desire, or you maybe foresee in the future, you may have a 2-bedroom standard or a 3-bedroom that gives you a 2-bedroom and a studio. But in the future, when you retire, you won't need that type of space. You need to buy a bigger unit that gives you a better sleeping capacity, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
And if I can add to that, I mean, we can go as deep as you want to go, Bill, because there's some companies out there, depending on who you work with. Now it's back to what type of features and benefits does your company provide? What type of services do you provide? Because each company provides different benefits, right? Yeah. So there's some companies where, depending on what level of ownership the owner is at when they book their resorts. Now I'm speaking on a points-based companies out there, not weeks, but points-based companies. Mm-hmm. Depending on what level of ownership you're at, let's say that there's silver, gold, and platinum, right? As far as owners. Mm-hmm. If you're silver, when you book a reservation, let's say you get 10% off. Well, that means you pay 10% less in points when you book a reservation. Mm-hmm. If you're gold, let's say you get 30% off. That means you get 30% off your points whenever you book a reservation. If you're platinum, you get 50% off, right? Whenever you book your reservations. So that could be a selling point. If you have a silver owner in front of you, well, then you need to, create a pitch or create a dialogue and show them why they need to be platinum, because they could take the same amount of vacations that they're getting right now and actually get double the amount just by being platinum, you know? And who knows, when you're platinum, now you're able to get even, unlock more benefits, maybe something to offset the maintenance and taxes because you are at this level. You don't know, right? So we can get as deep as you want to get. But yeah, I think there's multiple ways to sell owners.
Right. And it really all comes back down to discovery. You know what I'm saying? We need to discover how they're using it, how they intended to use it. What was the original reason they purchased in the first place? Someone told me if you could find out the reason why they purchased in the first place, you could find another reason why they've been buying another week. You know what I mean? So when it comes to owners, it's really all about discovery. I think that sometimes it's hard to identify how can you create the problem. Okay, right now you're silver, but if you were platinum, you'd have X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Oh, So I think that it's all about discovery and trying to create the problem.
And going back, just to piggyback real quick, let's say you have a weeks-based company. It's kind of funny because this was what I learned, that in-house is just a game, right? Let's keep it real. When I was with the weeks-based company, they used to have two products. One product was an every year product, which is the product that we pitch. The other product was an every other year product, right? Where you get the weeks once every 2 years instead of every year, right? Well, when you get the every year product, you pay maintenance and taxes every single year.
Right.
When you get the every other year product, you pay maintenance and taxes every other year. Well, depending on what owner we had in front of us, we just switched them to the other side. So if I got an owner in front of me that owns every year, I'm going to say, why are you paying maintenance and taxes every single year? That is crazy. You're the only owner that I know do that.
Fact.
You could get the maintenance and taxes set up once every 2 years and still vacation every single year. They're going to say, what are you talking about? That's one angle. Now, if I was to get that same owner and they own every other year, I would just switch it over.
Right.
So
I feel like, and shout out to Bill for bringing this up, because this is good for anybody that's an in-house. I think you should, understand the angles if you knew. My personal opinion, I write these. I'm writing with my pen. This was a gift to me from one of my good friends, a good friend and a good mentor, Mr. Winfred Barrington. Give me a Mont Blanc
shout out
pen
Mr. Barrington
with my name engraved on it. My guy. So he told me write big deals with this, like $1 million deals. So I believe with owners, it's greed. Well, I always say need, greed, or fear of loss, right? So there's either a need, as we discussed earlier, it could be you don't have enough, or you didn't plan for your retirement, or maybe the size is wrong, size unit, the sleeping accommodations. But then there's greed, right? If people want to keep up with the Joneses. So I'm not sure what you guys sell, where you are a few points a week, but I understand that with greed, some resorts allow you to, let them gift it to other people, or, I'm really saying they can rent their weeks, right? Some people want to rent them to families, friends, or whatever else you say, right? I could be
some resorts offer a rental program for their owners, right? I know some resorts don't, but believe it or not, there's some resorts that do have a rental program for their owners. That's a whole nother pitch, right there.
I think the thing with rental, and a lot of people in the industry have just got out of control, because there's like false promises on what they can earn, and I think that's where it becomes such a hot topic, But at the end of the day, it's greed, I don't really know the points side of things, but I understand, like with the weeks, a lot of times they focus on the deed and they focus on the real estate value, and they talk about how the value will go up based upon the area and what's happening. So depending on your resort, because every resort is different. If you're writing down a price point for a market value, and you're saying, hey, Mr. Owner, this is the cost today, and then you say, well, wait a minute, your account says that you are eligible for pre-construction prices. That's when the TO comes in. That greed may be the reason why they purchase, because they're getting it less than what everyone else is paying. Or if you do a straight takeaway, saying, therefore, hey, unfortunately, you can't have it anymore. Or if you don't do it today, you're going to lose it. Then the fear of loss, they'll do it so they don't lose the opportunity. So a lot of times with in-house, it all depends on the dance that you have too, with your team leaders or TOs or managers or whatever you call them. You know what I mean? So, Bill, get specific with us, baby. I like that. Tap in. Let me see what else Bill said.
Shout out, Bill.
Yeah, man. He said if they're being unhappy about things are going to change, and they don't. That's everywhere. I mean, I came from a resort where...
What does he mean, things happy?
Maybe at the resort, like crappy check-ins, bad rooms, the furniture doesn't change. You know how it is?
Oh, okay.
People we worked at a resort where they pitched a water park for years. That didn't come to like 20 years later.
20 years later,
You know what I mean? They say if you pitch it, in any resort, they say if you pitch it long enough, it'll come. You know, I told my owners like this: you purchase today, that don't mean you have to come to this resort. My owners purchase here so they can go anywhere they want to go.
Absolutely.
Don't come here.
Absolutely.
Use this to go where you really desire to go.
Absolutely.
If you got a person that loves a Marriott or loves a Hilton or loves a, whatever, exchange into it. Use your exchange power to get into those resorts that you like. Yeah. But you're an owner. You're in the game. You know what I mean? So that's how I would do that.
And again, we can get really, really petty on the sales floor. But if I'm hearing the owner and they're telling me they don't like the check-in process and this, and this, and that, for one, I would do what Richard just said and pitch, well, then, you have over 3,000 something resorts to choose from to travel to. You don't have to come back here, right? I would pitch that. But I would also pitch status again. Well, depending on how many, weeks you own within our company, or depending on how many points you own within our company, depending on what status you are within the ownership, you get VIP check-in service. You get chauffeured from the airport to the resort. You get the red carpet treatment. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how far you want to take this thing, you got to get creative on the table. You got to create a problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the owners, it's endless the amount of ways that you could sell an owner, man. This really is endless.
I think that those that are in-house love the dance, love the game. You know what I'm saying? It's not a cookie cutter approach. Everybody's different, and you get to be swift and changeable. You just got to be sharp on your toes, and you have to think quick on your feet. You know what I'm saying? And I think that those people that's in-house love in-house. However, those that don't start an in-house, because they keep hearing how you have to be just in that manner, they fear it. And a lot of times people on the front line won't go to in-house because they just feel it's too challenging.
Yeah, don't fear, because Rich is an example of someone that went straight to in-house. I'm an example of somebody that went straight to in-house. It's once you learn, obviously, what they're doing, what the game is, what the sales techniques is, what you need to look out for, what you need to identify, blah, blah, blah. Once you learn that, it's actually kind of fun. It actually has a fun aspect to it.
It makes you better, actually. I think the problem with going straight to in-house is you may focus on, because let's keep it real. Some resorts will teach you to do an A to Z on in-house, but once you really know what you're doing, you're not going to do the A to Z. And for those that's listening and don't know what I'm A to Z, I mean a full presentation where you're talking about top to bottom. Maybe the company, the industry, the credibility. Like sometimes with in-house, when you know the product well enough, you know how to create the problem and then go straight for the sale, and it's faster. Whereas with a non-owner, you have to build credibility. You have to build trust from yourself, trust in the company, trust in the product, and then it's a longer pitch. Mm-hmm. And I think that the key is if you're in-house and then you end up taking a non-owner tour, you need to understand the mindset of the person that's in front of you. The mindset of a new owner is different from a mindset of an owner. So that's just what we got to remember.
You know why I'm so happy that I started at the resort that I started at? Because when I went through the training, they trained me on which type of client, like on every type of client that I'm going to encounter. They said, okay, this is a front to back. This is a non-owner. These are owners, and these are some things the owners will say. These are owner referrals, and these are some things owner referrals will say. These are exchangers, people that don't own with our resort but own with other resorts, and they're coming to exchange to stay at our resort. These are some things you need to identify and look out for and say to these type of people. So when I hit the floor, and it's a mixture of different tours and different things like that, but every time I got an owner or owner referral or exchanger or I just knew what to look for. You know what I'm saying? Because the company trained me on it. And it's sad because there's some companies that just train you on one thing.
Correct.
So then when you get hit with an exchanger, you don't know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because there's companies now that they just train you A to Z, but they're going to give you owners and they haven't told you how to prepare for them. And you have to learn in the field. It's like, how people from the Caribbean be like, how'd you learn how to swim? They'll be like, oh, my dad just threw me in the water and said, figure it out. Like, that's what they're doing at some resorts. And you just have to figure it out. And at the same time, unfortunately, and shout out to all the trainers out there. Shout out to all the people who are in the position to teach people, the basics on selling. But I understand why they don't give them everything that they need to know. And it's good and bad, you know what I'm saying? But there's training. And then when you get to the sales floor, it's completely the opposite of what you just learned, And only the strong survive. Like if you're in this business and you sell, it's because you were able to figure it out. You had a little street smart and book smart, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't make it because it's not just cookie cutter black and white like your regular type of job. You know what I mean? So yeah. So let me go see. Let me see. So next comment. Shout out to Bill. Next comment. Okay. Adria Meyer. Shout out to Adria Meyer. And I'm just going by what I think the names are based upon the YouTube username. She's talking about episode 44, I think. The same thing. She said, if she came at me with that prophecy stuff, saying she can sell anything to anyone, I'd be alarmed. She comes off as a narcissist, to be honest. The ego on your last two guests is off the charts. Ego. You guys are less weird. Ah, thank you. She said, we are less weird.
But that means we're still weird, though.
No.
Less weird?
Let her complete the sentence. She said less weird and more relatable. They're almost like...
Okay.
I'm okay with being weird. Weird is different. You know what I'm saying? I want to be weird.
Yeah.
Y'all are real. She said y'all are real, so keep doing that.
Okay,
yeah,
for sure.
Keep it thorough. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's a lot of salespeople in here that do have a big ego. It's true. I mean, every personality is different. Every person is different. You know what I'm saying? So
there's a lot of weird people in this industry. Let's just get that straight. You know what I'm saying?
There's some shy people that are number one not number one writers, but they're making money. Look at DJ. You know what I'm saying? DJ couldn't even get through a 30-second.
I don't even know if his episode aired.
We couldn't even get him in front of a camera.
Damn, that's messed up. Not everybody makes it to the show, y'all. We do a lot of episodes. You just don't get them all. But yeah, damn, you didn't hear DJ. That's
nah. But DJ's my man. But I'm just saying he's shy, but yet he's in the timeshare floor killing it, getting deals left and right. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has a different personality.
Why do we bring that up again? Oh, because people are weird. Yeah. Like, no, not for nothing. I mean, I was with one company for quite long time, and I just felt like some of the people that they brought in for their deadline was definitely different. I mean, they brought in people that was not licensed, not professionally licensed, off the for wherever they're from. And there's some people that will leave the car business and come into this sales business, but I'm big on like proprietary. You know what I'm saying? Like how you dress, how you carry yourself. That's me. They say don't prejudge, but I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? When a person is well put together, I say that boy is sharp. You know what I'm saying? Probably intelligent, or they care about their look. And then some people that just pull up and just be sloppy and but whatever. But yeah, thank you for saying that we're different and we're real.
That's what's up.
But as far as what she was talking about, yeah, I think when you feeling yourself, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, not for nothing though. From a training perspective, if you've been training people and you were successful as a rep in your training, a lot of times it's a show and prove type of thing. So I think she was talking about how she would tell a person, hey, we're gonna take a tour and we're gonna get you a deal. First of all, that's an affirmation. You always gotta think in your mind, I'm getting a deal regardless. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that. And as far as, I'm like, come on, there's no one that sells 100%, Yeah. But we have to have the attitude as if we can sell anyone. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think that's just one of the things that we have to be, confident about. I don't think that I'm cocky, but I think that I'm confident. I feel like when I get a tour, and I look at who sold them last, I'm like, if he could sell you, I'm selling you. You know what I'm saying?
But are they saying Michelle said I can sell anyone? Did she say that?
No, I don't think she. I don't think she said that. I think she said. Hold on. I know she was one girl that was saying that.
I think she did say I can sell anybody. I can sell anybody.
Oh, wait. Saying stuff, she can sell anything to anyone. Yeah, she said that.
Yeah, I think she said that. That's funny.
I mean, listen, Jay-Z said he could sell water to a well, ice to an Eskimo. I mean, some people, like, Jay said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Some people are just like that. Like, they feel like they're a hustler by nature, and I got it. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all mindset. I think that we have to have that mindset. That's because that confidence goes across the table, right? Mm-hmm. If I remember, I'll never forget, I went against the whole training grain of whatever, like don't sell in the lobby. I picked up a family And I was doing my intent statement. I said, y'all gonna become my owners today. Follow me. And they kind of looked at each other like, this kid's, you know what I mean? But then they're buying. I got them, you know what I'm saying? But if you believe in the product and you believe that everyone should have it, then there's no reason why you shouldn't feel like you can sell to anyone. You know what I'm saying? If I could dig into your emotions and tell you why you should vacation and tell you why it makes more sense to own versus rent, then what are we talking about here? Like, I have a valid point. If I believe in this, let me tell y'all something. In case y'all don't know, if you're new to this show, I'm a timeshare baby. Like, my parents owned timeshare since 1984. I grew up vacationing, straight up. I grew up vacationing. Left Rosedale, left Queens. Well, my friends was still in the hood. We was on vacation. We was in Pennsylvania. We was in Florida. I've been to Israel. I've been to Panama. We was vacationing. And I come back and my friends sitting in the same place. You know what I'm saying? And when my parents, that was the thing. This is your deed. I still have the deeds now. This is the ones for your brother. Anyway, my confidence and my passion about vacationing is maybe not like someone else's. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am telling you, I'm a product of vacationing. So if I meet somebody that don't vacation, I'm going in on them.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, this is educational for your kids.
For sure.
Especially if I get somebody from the city. Because a lot of times we grew up in these areas thinking this is what life is about. We fought over streets that we own nothing on. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my block. And it's like, you could stay in that environment, or you could see that the world is bigger than just the street that your kids are living on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when I can relate to a family and say that to them in a more professional way, obviously I tone it down a little bit, but yeah, man, I'm very confident on saying why somebody should own. So
even if you don't believe in the product, now check this out. This is a kicker. Pay attention.
Oh, shit.
Even if you don't believe, because let's be real, right? We know sometimes there's some exchange issues or availability issues, and maybe you can't get to a lot of these places that people are saying that you can get to, right? But let's be real. Even if you don't believe in a product 100%, you at least have to believe that there's somebody else out there that can believe in a product and is willing to go in their pocket and spend 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. How much was that deal the lady got over the phone?
$82,000.
$82,000 on today with a credit card.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't believe in it, believe that somebody else will believe in it and spend the money to get you to you know what I'm saying? To get you paid.
Shout out to Jessica Houghton. Jessica Houghton, she just dropped a new book, right? This is, oh man, let me share. On our Instagram page, we're gonna share a video that she shared with us. She was a listener. She supported us. She bought the Sold in 60 objection cards. Sold in 60 objection cards.
They sold out, right? You got the second edition coming out?
Second edition is coming out. There's maybe just a few left for those who have put an order in the pipeline. So grab them while you can. This was the first edition. It's only going to get better. Yo, Jessica, over the phone, telesales. What's the name of the company? Hallmark?
Yeah.
Man, she wrote a deal for $82,350. Shout out to Jess. You know what I'm saying? Big props. So this lady went from owning 10,000 credits, and because she put it in the picture, it was an owner, found the problem, talked about her future, got her to put herself in the picture and think about retirement, got her to upgrade, and now she owns 45,000 points. That was an $82,000 sale. You should see how they went crazy. I got to see this video. Check the Instagram this week. I'm going to post it. Listen, it's stories like that just give me the chills. Stories like that just make us so proud of what we're doing for people when we're sharing them how to put those funds into vacations and live. You know what I'm saying? So many people are just waking up every day and just not living. You know what I'm saying? You can't take money to the grave, right? But why not if you can show them how to vacation and utilize it and we get paid for doing
it? Well, that was Jessica that got that deal?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask this question based off that. Now, everyone's used to showing that price sheet, right? We all know the price sheet is to throw up numbers. It's fake numbers. It's not real numbers, right? It's to get them to get this. is to get them to give us the objection, or so that way we can get to the real numbers, right? But what about when you show that $80,000 price sheet and the guest says yes?
You like, for real?
Yeah.
You like
that's what I want to talk about. That reaction. Are you poised enough? Are you what's the word I'm looking for? Are you
strong enough?
Strong enough for someone to say, okay, 80,000, I'll take it. Do you even know how to even ask for $40,000 down as the down payment here today? Like, when you get to that point, Richard, have you ever been to the point where the numbers on the table are just so big, even you're like, oh shit, I'm not ready for this. I'm a little nervous at the, have you ever been nervous on a table going over some big ass numbers?
Nope.
No.
So peep this. I used to be a bill collector before I got into this industry. So I used to have, so when I first started at the resort, the director, when like the first day you got to say who you are, stand up, say who you are, whatever, what you did before you got here. So I said I was a bill collector. She said, okay, he was a bill collector, so he won't be afraid to ask for the money. So because she said that, I kind of kept in my head, never be afraid to ask for the money. So they gave us the throw up numbers or whatever. But what I learned throughout my career is you have to pitch that number and work it like you believe it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what made me, because the guy that I was working with, the TO, he was writing nothing but big deals. And I used to be like, and he had a Brazilian rep, Luciano. Mm-hmm. Luciano, we got to get Luciano. Remember Luciano?
Yeah. He'd been in the game for years. So
him and Ken was writing big deals or whatever. And I was like, all right, I want to taste that or whatever. So you got to believe in the price. So the thing is, when you show your sticker price, do you work that number? Do you keep a straight face and act like it's nothing for them to put down 20 grand, 30 grand as a down payment with a monthly payment of 2,200? That's really where, if you build a value big enough, then then you can sit straight face and say, yeah, and it's $20,000 down. Mm-hmm. And, you can move monies around. You can move monies out your 401k. You can move it from your savings or your Merrill Lynch, And, obviously you can pay this off, pay it up up front, or you can do financing. Mm-hmm. Or you can always go back home and get your own financing after you own it today. Mm-hmm. How do you want to work out the down payment? Like, when you believe in the price, here it is. If you believe in the price and you work it, when the drop comes, you should be super surprised, so that energy transforms across the table to the family. If I'm excited that there's a drop, then you need to be excited that there's a drop, because I haven't seen this before.
For sure.
Like, wait a minute. So it's not the 90,000 you know what I mean? And that energy has to convey to the family.
You know why reps are not excited or showing that excitement on the table when the drop comes?
Because they prepare for the drop.
Because they already telegraphed the drop already.
They
already telegraphed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming.
You know the dance. So you like, I know he's gonna come. He's gonna drop it. Okay, it's time for him to come. It's time or her to come. I know he's gonna drop it. And because to each his own. There's some reps that telegraph the drop. Hey, I'm gonna show you what it goes for today, but you guys are, you're blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. You have a one time. My manager's gonna probably show you trade-ins or y'all telegraphing it. So sometimes it works. I can't lie. I've seen it.
Sometimes it works, and I've used this sometimes too.
Yeah, some people have it. They got it down to the science. They got people that trust them. They know, but they, and I'm not knocking you. But it wasn't my thing. I needed to be once I realized it was a game, for lack of better words, leave the suspense to the drop, I stuck in character. And I know some people that just enjoy that, eat that up. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. So wait. If they do this, can I be their rep? Will I be assigned to them?
Yeah. Listen, I forgot who told me this, but he says, once you step out there to get your family, it's Broadway. You're on stage.
Yeah.
You're on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So, I just think that if you guys want bigger deals, you have to believe in your product. You need to justify why you're saying the price of this product. I don't know how it works everywhere. Some places the price is the price, and they don't play with they don't do no drops, But if you do work at a place that does drops, believe in the price. And figure out what you need to do to justify that price. When I would show 100 and whatever thousand, I knew that the real estate values of homes in the area were, 1.2 million or whatever. And in my demonstration, I would take a home that in that area, comparing it to real estate, and then divide it into 52 weeks and get a cost per week. And because you're getting 5 weeks, I multiply that cost per week by the 5 weeks. So it was in alignment to the sticker price that I was showing. So it made sense. Except this gives you the ability to travel anywhere you want to go, where if you bought a stationary home that's fixed in a certain location, you can't move. Mm-hmm. So when you're tired of coming to this location, you can't. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can't change anything. You have to put it back on the market and sell it. So I don't know, if you're using points, then I think that from what I understand, the price per point can go up each year or whatever, but the cost to use points in a specific location won't change. Mm-hmm. So I would compare that to the cost of Disney tickets or the cost of gas or even, or Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever I can do to illustrate that, listen, today's price, yesterday's price is not today's price. And as long as there's a demand for vacationing, it's going to go up. So get involved now. Yes, it is X amount of dollars today. Oh, but that's too much. Well, have you seen the cost of hotels? Have you seen the cost of renting? And if you continue doing what you're doing without owning, you're going to spend more than this.
Yeah. Also going back to touching back to what Bill said too. Again, there's multiple ways, but it also comes down to what resort do you work at and what, what's the structure? How does the product work? It goes back to product knowledge. Yeah. Like, how does your product work? You have to know how your product works better than the owner for you to upsell them again, right? Because you have to steer the conversation, right? So kind of going back to what Bill said, what if you have an owner that has a traditional week? Now I'm talking to my people that work at points-based companies, right? You work at point-based company. You sell points, right? But remember, timeshare didn't start with points. Everybody started with the weeks, and they converted over into points. Right. Where there's some resorts out there where, yes, you guys sell points now, but you still got those old traditional owners, those long-time owners that's been owners for 20, 30, 40, 50 years that still have that traditional week. Mm-hmm. And your job in-house now is to sell them on why they need to convert that week, that traditional week, into the new point system. Right. And I know it's difficult because what are these 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old baby boomers say? Oh, I'm fine with my week, and we've been doing it for 50 years, and this, and I don't want to lose my week. My week. That's all they know is that week. But there's different techniques that you could use depending on how your specific product works, right? That's why we can't tell you like just a cookie cutter approach that works at all resorts for all situations. It depends on how your product works, because you can maneuver the conversation a certain type of way to show them this is why you need to convert over. A prime example of that would be the maintenance and taxes, right? No matter what resort you work at, we all know maintenance and taxes goes up, right? Mm-hmm. That's just a well-known complaint from all owners, right? Well, again, you got to get creative, right? So one of the ways that I would try to convert a traditional owner that owns a week over into the new point system is I would play off the maintenance and taxes, right? We all know the maintenance and taxes go up. I can get that owner to agree to me with that. So right. I would say, if you were the owner, I would say, Mr. Richard, what was happening was the maintenance and taxes, when you first became owners with us, your maintenance and taxes was a lot cheaper than what you're paying now, right? Yes. They're going to say, yeah, my maintenance and taxes used to be $100 back in going up. And it keeps going up. Now we pay $3,000 a year, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, that was because in the beginning, all the owners paid the maintenance and taxes together, right? They took all the owners, divided it all up, and you guys all paid your portion of the maintenance and taxes. That's why it was $100 when you first got started with your ownership. Well, what ended up happening was the company transitioned into the point system, the new point system. Just like how they had the flip phones, now they got the iPhones. Now they have the new point system, and what was happening was all the traditional owners were converting over into the new point system. So if you have 90% of the traditional owners converted over to the new point system, and now there's only a small percentage of owners left on the traditional side, well, guess what? You guys are still splitting the maintenance and taxes, but because there's less owners on this side, now you got, when there's an assessment fee or when the hurricane comes down and damages the property and now there's $1 million bill to pay, and it's only split between the last 10 traditional owners within the company, how much more money do you think your maintenance and tax? That's why your maintenance and taxes keeps going up. You know what I'm saying? We need to get you to convert over into the point system where all the other owners are, so that way you're paying less in maintenance and tax. That's a small little play. You know what I'm saying? You can go as deep as you want to go, but again, to build, selling owners is going to come down to, you know, how your product works and things like that.
I haven't learned the point game yet.
Yeah, for sure. Tell them you got here how they can follow us there. I know there were some issues with are you guys on Spotify or are you on Instagram? And I didn't know this was video. I didn't know we can watch you guys. I never knew what you looked like before. Oh yeah, Richard look handsome. Look at him. You feel me? Let them know what they can
his
find.
role play game is crazy because ain't nobody tell me I look handsome. But hit the comments right there if you think I'm handsome.
That's funny.
So. Guys, we're on different platforms, right? So Instagram, if you follow us on Instagram, just know that Instagram is just a place for shorts. We put short clips on there, but you will never see or hold a whole episode there. You know, the full episodes could be listened to or seen on Spotify. The full episodes could be heard on Apple Podcasts. And of course, you can see the full episodes on YouTube. And of course, you can see the full episodes and behind the scenes on Factual TV, which is a Roku channel. And obviously, it's on Audible and Google Play and all these other places. But just wanted to let y'all know. So Instagram.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah. I mean, all in the major platforms, pretty much. But the shorts are only on Instagram. So if you send us a message, it could be on Instagram as a direct message. We'll get those, and if you comment on YouTube, we get them. You know. And on Spotify, there's a poll. If you're on Spotify and you see the poll, please answer to the poll. The poll is how we knew the new course that drops next year, which is right around the corner. It's how to sell timeshare. It was a poll that went out, and we got feedback from the people on what they wanted to see in that course. So you can always click the link in the bio to pre order that, and that's how that goes down. We even got a survey in Instagram, so that's really what we do, like the surveys. Instagram and Spotify, there's surveys. We have a tip jar. You know, if y'all want to take some of your bonus money and say, yo, let me send Sold in 60 a couple dollars so they keep it going, keep it pushing. I love what they're doing. And also, if you want to come on the show, like if you want to fly in to Florida, or if you want to do a virtual, we could do a virtual show. We could have you on a guest. Like 2025 is going to be very, very busy. You know, this year I was able to meet sales reps from Vegas, sales reps from Hawaii. That was exciting. You know, people from Myrtle Beach, Williamsburg. I am so excited for everything that's coming in the future and where this culture is going. And I love what we're doing, just like you guys love, you know, what we're doing. So I'm going to just, some of the questions that we got in our DMs and emails was just, I want to answer some of them and get your feedback, D. Mm-hmm. One person says, how do you adapt your sales approach for different types of customers?
How do I adapt my sales approach for different type of customers? Mm-hmm. Well, it depends on the customers that's in front of me. I already know that, for instance, I have one pitch. This pitch is for my people that travel in the summer. I know if you're traveling in the summer, you're spending money because that's one of the most expensive times to travel, mm-hmm. right? But then I know once the summer is over and school starts and we get into that August, September, October, mm-hmm. I know that those people are budget travelers, right? Because if they were big spenders, I would have seen them during the summer. So I have a separate pitch for those budget travelers than I would for the peak season travelers, right?
Gotcha.
So depending who's in front of me is how I'm gonna know how to alter my, presentation, if that's what the question was.
I think if they to answer that question, I don't know the user that sent that one, but how do I adapt sales approach to different types of customers? I think I am very aware of social styles. So I know if I got an analytical, a driver, expressive, right? Amiable person, I kind of just understand who's in front of me. If I got a driver, I know I got to move quicker. If I got an analytical, I got to break. My logic it's not going to be the emotions that sell them. It's going to be the logic. If I got an amiable, I'm telling them what to do, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But that's it, really. Like I know there's steps to the sale. It's still gaining their trust, still identifying why they need to purchase, how my product can achieve what they want to achieve, and why they need to do it today. You know what I'm saying? But it's just some people you can't be pushy with because they're the pushers.
For sure. Yeah.
Like me personally, everyone's different, but even from the time that I meet the family, like I understand body language. And when you understand body language, you may be able to identify who's in front of you or where these people are. So for me, it starts with the handshake.
Oh, man, that's so crazy you said that, because I was just thinking in my mind, as soon as you said handshake, if I go to the lobby, and y'all going to think I'm crazy, and that's cool, or weird, like the shorty said.
Weird. Yeah.
I can go to the lobby and shake a client's hand, and depending on how strong and tight he shakes my hand versus how weak and limp, like if he just gives me his hand like, oh, hey, like whatever, good morning. But when I get a strong good morning, oh, how are you? Good morning. Boom. That's a deal.
Yeah.
That's a deal. Anytime I get a strong grip, that's a deal, bro. That's a deal. So body language.
So if you get a weak one, it's not a deal?
It's no deal. Anybody that shake it, good morning, yeah. That's not a deal. That's not a deal. That's not a deal.
Okay.
That's not a deal.
I never thought like that.
Yeah. Try that when y'all go out.
Yeah. So I learned that there's different handshakes, and some handshakes are dominant. There's a video on YouTube that talks about like the presidents, how they have different handshakes, and the same president you're gonna have next year, he has a handshake that he pulls you in and taps your shoulder. That's a dominant handshake. That's like dominant. But also there's a way of shaking somebody's hand where you kind of dominate it, So for me, because I understand my strategy and what I'm going to do on this tour, I know the psychology of the sale. I always give people the handshake as if they're dominant.
Yeah, that's what in timeshare you're supposed to do that. Give them the
I let them feel like they're in control.
That's how you're
but
supposed
I'm
to
in
do.
control.
For sure.
But I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So next time y'all go out, just analyze that, because you got the guy who sees your size. If you're size and wants to have this pissing match, like I'm strong and I'm so cool with what I do. I'd be like, man, you know, say you hurting me. And they're like, well, you work out, because I already know what's going on. But
it's so funny we talking about this, because you'll learn these little tiny minor things. It's almost like etiquette, like table etiquette, like what to do at a diner table, because. Let's say for my men out there that wear a jacket, if you wear a suit, when the family sits down, let's say you just did the meet and greet, you walk them down to the table just to warm up with them. You're supposed to ask. Proper etiquette is you're supposed to ask, do you mind if I take off my jacket? Right? You're supposed to ask that, and of course the family's gonna say, sure, yeah, go right ahead. And you take off your jacket, you put it on the back of your seat. And then you sit down in your chair. You don't sit down in your chair with your jacket on.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? That's proper.
Let me write that down.
No, that's proper timeshare etiquette. You know what I'm saying? It gets deep, guys. I don't know how deep y'all want to go. We're not just up here to be up here. Yeah. You feel me?
That's deep.
So yeah, for sure.
I didn't wear suits as a rep, so I didn't really know I don't really know about that. That's what's up.
Yeah. That's one of them. For sure. So
thanks for sharing.
Yeah. So I'm feeding that off of what you say, like body language, like it's true. Little things, even down to the table. You know about the table. If you're on the back end, right, and your family, let's say you have a husband and wife, are on the left side of the table, and your TO is getting ready to come in, should you be sitting on the side of your family? Or should you be sitting on the side of your TO on the back end when you guys are going over the numbers? You tell me, Rich.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I've been exploring the last couple of months. We've been traveling and I've been running up in different places. Check this out. I've only been at one resort, right? And I'm accustomed to the round table. I'm accustomed to me sitting across from a family or a rep sitting across from a family. And then first of all, I'm big on sitting across from your gender, right?
Sitting across from your gender.
Sit across from your gender. Because I'm used to this round table environment that's more like I don't want to say a meat market, but more like an arena. So I'm used to the arena, big sales floor.
Open space,
open floor where it's like table, and then you sit across from your gender, and then when your manager comes, you move your table with the family, and it's y'all against the manager. That's what I was taught. But I've come to explore other places that I see that it's not a round table everywhere. Some people have cubicles, and it could be a desk that feels a little bit more private, so they can't sit across from their gender, but it's them talking to a family. So I'm not sure how they do it when their TO or manager comes to the table. Can they really move their chair to the other side if it's a desk setup or what?
But what's proper etiquette though?
My dance that I grew up with was, I bring a TO to the table and I would present to him, hey, this is John and Mary. John and Mary really love the product. They can't afford $800 a month. John said he could only do $250. We know that we don't have anything for that. And I'm sitting next to them, and I'm like, Mr. Manager, is there anything you could do to help us?
Yeah, you're sitting with the family across from the TO.
It's me and the family against the TO.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
For
sure. Yeah.
That's if I'm dancing as for owner's advocate, I'm like, Mr. TO, they weren't aware that they had the opportunity to make modifications to their ownership. We demand that they have the opportunity to do it. Mm-hmm. And we're playing this game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I don't know how other resorts do it, but I think the dance is very, very important. But people, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, just have to be willing to get into character. Some people, I've met people that are just really tight, and when they come in this industry, they're not with the games. They're just straight up, and they usually don't last long until you start to learn how to have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? One more from the people. The questions is, it says here, and we're going to close out with this one. It says, we can answer this one. How do you handle objections from potential buyers? That's simple. That's simple. Look at this camera. That's simple. You go and you buy the timeshare objection card. You go and you buy the timeshare objection card. Yeah. You go and you buy the timeshare objection cards from Sold in 60s. The link is in the bio.
Where they say, how do they handle objections?
It says, how do you handle objections from potential buyers?
Oh, from potential, that's easy.
You go and purchase the Sold in 60 objection cards.
For sure.
All right, so that's that. And then the last one says, what strategies do you use to close a sale? For me personally, my strategy that I use to close a sale is usually a choice closed. Mm-hmm. I have 5 closing techniques, and if you haven't already downloaded the back end bully from the link in our Instagram, but do it. I gave you my top 5 closing techniques that I use on every table. I personally like choice close because there's no yes or no. It's which one would you like? This one or this one, right? And I love to say, don't do this. Do this. Because I'm taking away the most expensive one and I'm giving you the lesser. And
some resorts are only allowed to show one. They don't have the choice to be able to do a choice close.
So if you don't have a choice close, then I would say break it down to the ridiculous. Another one of my favorite closes. Break that monthly, if it's a monthly payment that they're struggling with, break it down to the weeks of the month, down to the hours that they work, down to, get it down to ridiculous, where it comes down to it's 50 cents an hour. Is your family worth 50 cents an hour? So what are we talking about here?
Stop. You'll say that on the table?
I'll say to you right now. All right, what's the monthly payment? Give it to me right now. What's
$300 a month.
All right, so the monthly payment is $300 a month. Mr. John and Mary, between the two of you, that's only $175 each. If you look at it, it's $43 a week. Now, you both work 40 hours a week. So that really comes out to, oh, shit. Hold on, let me bring it back. $300 divided by the two of them.
175.
No, that's actually 150. It's 150.
Okay, yeah.
So divided by 4 weeks, that's $37 a week. And you work 40 hours a week. So that's 93 cents an hour. John and Mary. Is your family worth 93 cents an hour? Matter of fact, John and Mary, don't even answer that because I know they are. But let me ask you this. If you went back home and your boss said, hey, I'm taking 93 cents an hour out of your check, would you be upset?
Yeah, any money out of my check.
Yeah, but what if I told you I'm only taking it out for 10 years, but while I'm taking this 93 cents out of your check, you can vacation anywhere over the world you want to go. And after 10 years is up, I'm going to give you back the 93 cents an hour, and you can still have vacation for the rest of your lives and your kids' lives. Would you still be upset?
I would like that deal.
That's exactly what we're doing here today. And that's how you get sold in 60.
Boom.
Peace, y'all. We appreciate you. Like, share, comment. You know what the vibes is. Dylan.
Yeah, and we out just like that.
We out.